Attention passionate Chicago, Bears fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Chicago Bears' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Chicago Bears fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Chicago Bears fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been paying attention to the NFL news cycle lately, you know that the NFC North is buzzing with activity. The division has always been competitive, but what's happening now could redefine the balance of power for the next few seasons. And the big news that's causing a stir is the potential trade involving Kayvon Thibodeaux, the talented pass rusher from the New York Giants, who might soon be wearing the Chicago Bears jersey. That's right, and it's not just a rumor. It's a move that could significantly bolster the Bears' defense, especially their pass rush, which has been a point of concern for quite some time now. Let's take a step back and look at the context. The Giants, as we all know, have been rebuilding and trying to figure out their core. They've got some promising pieces, but at the same time, they're not in a position right now to be all in on a deep playoff run. That's why they're open to trading players like Thibodeaux. Now, Thibodeaux, as many of you know, was the 5th overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. Coming out of Oregon, he was heralded as a game-changing edge rusher, a player with the potential to be a franchise cornerstone on defense. But in his first 2 seasons, he's shown flashes of brilliance, no doubt, but also inconsistency. In 2024, he managed to rack up 5 sacks in 12 games. That's a respectable stat line, but for a player of his draft status and talent, it's not quite what you'd expect. And that's the key point. The Giants are in a phase where they need to evaluate their roster and decide whether Thibodeaux fits their long-term plans. They still have Brian Burns and Abdul Carter, both talented players, but they could leverage Thibodeaux's remaining 2 years on his contract to secure a valuable draft pick. Rumors suggest they could get a 3rd or 2nd round pick in return, which would help them build for the future. It's a smart move from their perspective, especially if they believe they can't fully maximize Thibodeaux's potential right now. But here's where things get interesting for us, Chicago Bears fans. The Bears, as we all know, have been on a rebuilding trajectory, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Last season, they made some significant moves in free agency, bringing in veteran defensive tackle Grady Jarrett, who's known for his interior disruption. Jarrett's experience and leadership have already started to pay dividends, helping to anchor the middle of the line. Alongside him, the Bears have also added players like Gervon Dexter and Andrew Billings, who are developing into solid contributors. But if there's one area where the Bears still need to make a leap, it's their pass rush. They've got some pieces like Dayo Odeyingbo, who is a bit of an overpay but still a capable run stopper and pass rusher. However, to truly contend in the NFC North and make a serious push into the playoffs, they need someone who can consistently threaten opposing quarterbacks. And that's where Kayvon Thibodeaux comes into the picture. Adding Thibodeaux to their defense could be the missing piece. His athleticism, explosiveness, and raw pass-rushing ability could immediately elevate the Bears' defensive unit. Under the guidance of new defensive coordinator Dennis Allen, the Bears could utilize Thibodeaux in a variety of ways, pinning his ears back on 3rd down, lining him up on different sides, and creating mismatches against offensive lines. This kind of versatility and talent could open up new possibilities for the Bears' pass rush, which has been a bit inconsistent in recent years. Now, let's talk a little about the NFC North itself. It's a division packed with offensive firepower. The Detroit Lions, for example, have built a formidable front with guys like Aiden Hutchinson, Tyleik Williams, DJ Reader, and Alan McNeil. They've invested heavily in their defensive line, and that's helped them become one of the toughest defenses in the league. Not to mention, their offense is explosive, with Jared Goff leading the charge. On the other side, the Minnesota Vikings have also been investing in their front, with players like Jonathan Greenard and Dallas Turner, aiming to bolster their pass rush and create more pressure on opposing quarterbacks. For the Bears, matching that level of defensive talent and creating their own pass-rushing threat is crucial. If they can bring in a player like Thibodeaux, who has the potential to become a game-wrecker, they not only improve their defense, but also send a message to their division rivals that the Bears are serious about re-establishing themselves as a dominant force. Think about it. With Thibodeaux rushing the passer on one side, and perhaps Montez Sweat providing pressure on the other, opposing quarterbacks could find themselves under siege week after week. That's exactly the kind of defensive domination the Bears need to compete at the highest level. This move also makes sense from a strategic standpoint. The Bears have already made some bold moves in free agency, and they're clearly trying to accelerate their rebuild. They've seen the importance of having a strong pass rush in today's NFL, where the game is increasingly centered around explosive passing attacks. A player like Thibodeaux, with his athleticism and untapped potential, could be a perfect fit for their defensive scheme. He's still young, only in his third season, and has room to grow into a premier pass rusher with the right coaching and development. Of course, acquiring Thibodeaux wouldn't come cheap in terms of draft capital, but that's the nature of the NFL today. Teams are willing to trade high-value picks for players who can make an immediate impact. The Bears, with their recent draft history and willingness to take calculated risks, could see Thibodeaux as a true difference-maker. His addition would not only bolster the pass rush, but also serve as a statement to the division and the league that the Bears are serious contenders once again. It's about building a defense that can carry the team deep into the playoffs, and who knows, maybe even help them chase that elusive Super Bowl championship. Now, looking ahead to the season, the Bears' roster is shaping up to be much more competitive than it's been in recent years. With the addition of veteran leadership, promising young talent, and now potentially a premier pass rusher like Thibodeaux, the team's outlook is exciting. Fans are optimistic, and rightfully so. The defense, which has often been the weak link, could transform into a strength, especially if they add the right pieces. With the NFC North's offensive firepower, the Bears need to be at their best defensively, and a player like Thibodeaux could be the catalyst for that transformation. So in summary, the potential trade of Kayvon Thibodeaux to the Chicago Bears is not just a rumor, but a strategic move that could reshape the team's future. It aligns perfectly with their current rebuild phase, fills a critical need in their pass rush, and sends a clear message to their division rivals. The Bears are back in the game, and they're here to compete. The NFC North is getting more exciting by the day, and this move could be the turning point that takes the Bears to the next level. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Chicago Bears news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Chicago Bears fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you think acquiring Thibodeaux would make the Bears a legit playoff contender? Or do you believe they should focus on other areas of the roster first? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Chicago Bears. Remember, the NFL is all about the fans, the passion, and the love for your team. I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Chicago Bears news. We're in this together, and the future looks bright for the monsters of the Midway. Thanks for watching, and as always, bear down.